What is going on, guys? Today I have got Daniel with me. Daniel is somebody who has been inside of Empire Blueprint for quite a while. Daniel, how long have you been inside of the actual program itself?
It's gonna be 8 months now. Yeah,
All
since
right.
January.
So you've been inside of Empire Blueprint since January. And could you tell us a little bit about how much money you were making when you first started as a personal trainer, online fitness coach?
Yeah, of course. I had been fitness coaching just for the like a passion project, making a couple of $100. My highest month before joining Empire was like $2,000, which was to me insane for online fitness coaching. Yeah,
hmm And that's $2,000 USD that you were
yeah,
making,
USD.
correct? And where are you from,
Correct.
Daniel?
I'm from Costa Rica.
All right. So you're from Costa Rica.
Mhm.
And so what exactly prompted you to join Empire Blueprint? Were you like, I need to take this to the next level? Like, what pushed you over the edge? Because a lot of people, they're very scared to invest in themselves and they're maybe not quite sure if like fitness coaching is the path that they want to go on. What made you decide like, hey, I need to fully commit to this and just go all in?
Yeah, to be honest, I was just sick and tired of my job. They paid
Mhm.
terribly, and it wasn't what I liked. Fitness has always been my passion. I had already been doing it for free and for a couple of $100. And I already knew you from years back, but I didn't know Empire Blueprint existed. So I watched a couple of YouTube videos from the Empire Blueprint YouTube channel, and I was like, wow, he has like a pretty good program. He actually teaches you what you need to know to actually be able to coach people online from wherever you are in the world, to have flexibility to scale it, because that's very important. And all the social media part that has been like the biggest struggle for me in these months, but all of those things. And I remember saying like, you know what? I'm tired of my job. This is what I want to do. I'm going to take a chance. I didn't have a lot of money saved up because my job paid terribly.
Mhm.
And I said like, yeah, I'm going to start January, because I took the decision in December. It took me like 2 weeks to take the decision since I watched like the first video, and I said I'm going to invest in myself, and it has paid off monumentally. Yeah.
Dude, that is so great. And we are celebrating after you have hit your first $10,000 month in August, correct? So inside of
Correct.
August, you're at $10,000 per month, and we still have a couple days left of the month.
Yeah, I think I'm going to close the month at like 12, 13,000.
Woo! That is great to
Yeah,
hear,
man.
man. All right, so 12 to 13,000 this month. And some people will think, "Oh, he just hit, 1 month, that was relatively high and then Brandon's making a podcast with him." No, Daniel has been putting up consistent high numbers, anywhere from $5,000 up to like I believe 8 or
Hmm.
$9,000 consistently since you pretty much joined. I mean, you
Hmm.
immediately started implementing everything that we were teaching you, and you just had momentum month after month after month. And so I want to ask you a couple questions just about your previous situation. Like, what were you doing for work before that you hated so much? Could you give people like an in-depth look at like the
Yeah,
job
for
that you
sure.
hated, what you were running away from?
Yeah, I was here in Costa Rica. The salaries are not very good, and it is a very expensive country. I worked for a US company that are supposed to be like the highest paying ones, doing like supply chain work, something I definitely didn't like. And I also don't like people telling me what to do, when do I have to take a vacation, when can I go to the gym. The pay was terrible. It was a $1,600, so 1,600. And I was sick and tired of not earning the type of money I know I'm capable of earning, because I know I am worth a lot more than that, and sick and tired of the lifestyle. That the biggest thing was the the lifestyle part, because I wanted to go to the gym whenever I wanted, to dedicate my life to whatever I wanted, to make to feel like every day I'm feeling like accomplished. To
Yep.
feel like every day is like it's something that adds to me and to my journey, instead of just living life like on automatic, just days passing by and you don't feel like you're going
Mhm.
anywhere.
So you were making
Mhm.
$1,600 from your other job.
Correct.
And I think that it's important to highlight that you had already, when you came into Empire Blueprint, you had already gotten like a taste of that success. You know, some people come inside of Empire Blueprint with absolutely no experience at all. You know, they've never closed a single deal before and they're just getting started. Like they are fresh off the boat. And I think that that's where Empire Blueprint helps people a lot. But I think it also helps a lot of guys who are in a similar situation to you, where you know that you could be doing so much more and those improvements need to be made. But $2,000, that's still impressive that you were able to get up to that number. You were able to make more from online fitness coaching, you know, to
Mhm.
be able to replace the income of the job that you absolutely hated. And it's funny because that reminds me of the situation that I was in when I first started. You know, I can't remember exactly how much I was making, but it was somewhere around like $3,900 a month. And
Mhm.
my goal was to replace that with fitness coaching before I quit my job, actually. Like that was my goal. A lot of
Mhm.
people would be like, oh, I got to quit my job, like right off the bat. No, 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 no. I was making the amount of income I was making from my job before I actually even decided to fully pull the trigger and quit that
Yeah.
job. So still be risk
Yeah,
averse
I
there,
didn't
but
do
I think
that,
that
but
yeah, it
yeah.
sounds like you played your cards pretty well, and that's a good amount of momentum that you had going into this. So you hated the
Mhm.
job. You
Mhm.
knew that you wanted to, you know, be a fitness coach. Have you ever been tempted to like throw in the towel and pursue something else? Like a lot of people, you know, they get distracted by these other shiny objects, but it just from the entire time you've been inside the program, it seems like you've just been locked in on fitness
Mhm.
coaching. Like I see all these other guys start posting about other things and they kind of get distracted from the main mission, but you have been solely like fitness coaching focused. And I don't want to put the words in your mouth, but I've said this before inside of Empire Blueprint, and I almost feel like you've adopted this as well, which was the same mentality that I had when I first started, which is like, I'm going to be a fitness coach. I'm going to be successful with it, even if it takes like 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, yeah. I also was to the level of desperate that I wanted to get out of my job that the first month I did $2,000, I quit.
There
So
you
I
go.
quit the first month I did it, and I said I'm going to burn the boats because I know I have a lot of potential and invested in myself, in Empire Blueprint, and everything. I said there's no way in hell I don't make it. I didn't give myself an option. That's why I have been attending absolutely every class, asking all the questions,
Mm-hmm.
doing everything that you tell us to do, because if a person does literally all of the program and does everything you tell him to do, it's inevitable. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally my case. I haven't missed posting a single day. I have done everything in the program. So yeah, it's just consistency. You have to be. I mean, how many months back have I been saying in the chat like this is going to be my first 10K, my first 10K,
Yep.
my first
Yep. You've
10K.
been fighting for it for the past like four months, I
Yeah,
think, that you've been
and I've
saying
been
like, hey,
this close
this
for
is
the
gonna
past
be
four
my
months. Yeah.
$10,000 month. And then you just come so close every single time. It's like, ah man,
Yeah.
it's been really difficult. So you've been making good money. I really just want to highlight like the fact that ever since you came in, you just have consistently been putting up great numbers, and then this is the first time where you're actually, you know, stepping over that line, you know, the coveted
Mhm.
$10,000 per month that everybody seems to talk about, but eludes 98% of fitness coaches. So
Yeah.
congratulations, man. You've really made it to the top. And what would you say is actually one thing that I really want to talk about as well is the fact that Daniel, the reason why I could tell that you were really going to be successful as well is because not only would you listen to all of the things that I would tell you to do, but you would also go and you would experiment with your own things. Like I even remember a couple months back, I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago, you decided to have kind of this like jerry-rigged VSL that you were putting together just to like experiment with how it was going. And I was telling
Mhm.
you like, hey, I think you should like stick to your original funnel, like all this type of stuff. But you were like, hey, I'm just going to try it out. And that's exactly what you did. And the results weren't great.
Mhm.
Like that's fine. They weren't great, but now you're crushing it with your current with the current funnel that you have. But it was just very interesting to see you go off and still just like try something new, because I think that
Mhm.
that's a huge part of actually being successful, is having to go out and like experiment with some things on your own outside of like the things that I'm recommending you every step of the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I didn't stop doing like all of the things you told me to do and all of the things in the program, but I am also like watching other people in other businesses and hearing people do things. Like I
Mhm.
tried the webinar and I tried a couple of different things that didn't work out. Maybe they could work out in the future, but
Mhm.
you really don't know, especially when you're starting like me. You have to experiment with everything. It's not like getting the focus off of what you know is working, but maybe like if I try this and it doesn't work, it's just a lesson, and if
Yeah,
it works, it's good. So
completely.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just speed of implementation and working on as many routes as possible because one will kick off. Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that a lot. And I think a lot of people will get a little bit distracted with their business, especially if they have some sort of like low month, or they're saying that they constantly want to hit that 10K month, but then they're just missing it. They're just like it's just out of reach for so long. You kind of get a little bit antsy. And so some people will be like, dude, what's wrong with my content strategy? Or they'll be like, I need to change things up. Or they'll be like, what's wrong with my funnel? I need to change things up. When in reality, if they just continue doing what they were doing, like they would succeed eventually. And I think that we knew that about you, but I still really appreciate the fact that you go out and you try these new things without shifting everything up. Like if you're going to go out and you're going to experiment with something new, you need to be able to go out and spend extra time doing that thing while still putting in all of the other inputs that have made you successful thus far. And I think that's what most people miss, is like if somebody doesn't break
Mhm.
past the 10K month mark, or if for some reason they have a bad month, they're like, everything needs to change. We need to switch up everything. We need to strip it all down and we need to move around. And that's another example of the shiny object syndrome that we talked about earlier. It's just these
Mhm.
people that are like really, really, they're just constantly kind of jumping from like one method to the next instead of actually plugging in the systems that we know work, and then sitting around and being patient. It took me
Yeah.
forever to get to my first $10,000 month. It took me a really, really long time. And so to assume that it's gonna be, way exponentially faster with other people, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and people don't have to wander off and try to figure it out on their own. You literally
Hmm.
give them all the answers. You just have to
Hmm.
do this and this and this with the content, with the coach and everything, and you just have to literally put your head down and work. Just do it every single day, because you know you're doing what works from a
Hmm.
person that clearly knows what he's doing and it is very successful in the fitness industry. So you just have to keep doing it, and one day it will work. It's inevitable. But
Yeah.
many people do struggle like with that consistency part, and the people who are trying to make the decision, it's pure ego that you think you can do it yourself. If I know a person that has the result I want and is teaching that, why would I try to waste years and probably not
Hmm.
make it if I can pay him a very small amount of what you can actually earn
Hmm.
to just make the journey a lot faster. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And it's definitely a no-brainer for somebody like you, somebody that actually takes it and implements it, that actually does like the things that we're telling people to do. somebody who's, you know, consistently taking action day after day after day, that is the most important factor. And I feel like that's the reason why you've, you know, fit so well in inside of Empire Blueprint. So what are your goals kind of moving forward, and what exactly has this money been able to do for you? Like, do you save a lot? Do you plan things out? Do you travel? Like, what exactly, what kind of lifestyle are you looking to eventually be able to capitalize on besides just being free from the corporate
Mhm.
slave life, you know?
Yeah, right now I'm not doing a lot of still spending. I am investing a lot in myself.
Mm,
So keep investing in courses, in seminars, in knowledge, because that is going to be the thing that will make me a lot more money in the
mm,
future. But actually, like spending, not that much. I'm going to keep working. My next goal is 20K before the end of the year. So I want
love it.
20K before 2027. And the big goal is I want to get in the next 2 years to 100,000 a month, and
Wow.
and then make it in a way that can be also conducive to a more like a chill lifestyle. So I can
Hmm.
actually, yeah, coach people and everything, but maybe have like an app or a platform. I have asked you a couple of questions about this in the
Yeah.
past,
Yeah.
and have a bit more freedom, but
Hmm.
earning, yeah, like 100,000. I say 100,000 now. Probably in 2 years, I'm going to say a lot more.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
this is me right now speaking of 100,000
Well,
and
yeah,
have
man.
a more chill lifestyle. Mhm.
You've definitely got it figured out, because what's really funny is that people in this space, they tend to like abuse the numbers, and they'll say, "Oh, John makes $100,000 a month from coaching," but in reality, he spends like 60K a month of that on ads, 20K goes to employees, 5K
Mhm.
miscellaneous, like, and then he's collecting at the end of the month like $8,000. It's really funny. I know fitness coaches who claim on social media to make $100,000 per month, but they cash collect less than you. How funny is that?
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
that's
you have
insane.
to be careful, because there are some like there are some people out there who are just like, I call that BSing, because you can ramp your revenue numbers super high, but I think that you've got the right idea, because what you've realized is that it's not worth it in order to build this like massive business, this huge thing that you have to like monitor, and it takes like all of the profit. It's very, very low profit margins. You have this huge team you need to manage, all that type of stuff. That is not worth it. I keep my team
Mhm.
very, very small, as small as I possibly can, in order to make the most amount of money, and we optimize for profit. We don't optimize
Mhm.
for being able to say a bigger revenue number. I'm not trying to get to the point where
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm making $500,000 a month, but in reality, I'm making less profit than I am now. Like, I run a
Mhm.
very tight ship, that produces six figures a month consistently.
Mhm.
That does,
And you take most
eight,
of it.
eight, yeah, 80% of that is mine.
Yeah.
And so you really have to be careful with the marketing that other people are using. And I think that what you've got going right now, man, it pretty much is the dream setup. Like, the amount of money
Yeah.
that comes in the door, like, it goes directly into your bank account. You can choose to invest it, invest it in yourself, invest it in the market. You can, have the freedom that you want, while being able to continue to exercise, uh, just getting so much better at the craft that that you've fully committed to for like the rest of your life. So I've just got a lot of
Yeah.
respect for you on that front. Any other closing remarks? Anything that you'd want to tell somebody who's trying to become an online fitness coach? Like, the idea is there, they would like to do it, and they look at somebody like you, and they kind of think, this is out of reach, this isn't really possible. Maybe they've been trying for a
Mhm.
while, and they're just getting stuck in general, because I don't think you realize that, like, a lot of people are going to watch this video, a lot of people are going to be inside of Empire Blueprint that haven't hit the numbers that you've hit yet, and they're going to be looking up to you like you're a behemoth. Like you're somebody that's like out of reach. Like he's made it. He's like up there now. I can't really get there, but like that's awesome that he made
Mm.
it. What would you tell somebody
Mm.
who's in that sort of situation?
I would say it is absolutely worth it. I am the most accomplished and the happiest I have ever been in my entire life because I can actually work and do in my passion, and that's why the money flows. I say take a chance because if you have this goal and this desire, that is untapped potential. But you have to take a chance on yourself, you have to put in the work, and you have to be intelligent and invest in yourself and let yourself be helped by people who actually know how to do this stuff. If you try to do it alone, you'll be like me, 3 years as a fitness coach and making a couple of $100 a month. And then all of a sudden, in 8 months, you can be at 12, 13K like I am in August of this year. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
say take a chance because it is absolutely worth it.
I think that that is some good advice for people for sure. And the number of personal trainers that quit, it's like 98%. And so really I just want to
Mm.
highlight, like I really do think that your success comes from not just me, not just the fact that you do everything that I tell you to do, but it really comes from the fact that you've committed to being successful with this, like no matter what it takes. You don't have another
Yeah,
plan, you don't have an exit route. It's like you've burned the boats, make it happen. This is what you're committed to.
exactly.
And so I think so many people, they just burn out really really fast because they're like most people don't have the discipline, man. But when you start off hating a 9 to 5 job as much as you and I do, it really gives you that passion. I always remember every single day,
Yeah.
even on the days when my work is just hard, it's a little bit more stressful, it feels a little bit more
Mhm.
like a job, on those days, because trust me, I do have them. I love being a fitness coach, but I definitely have those
Yeah,
days.
no, me too. Yeah.
I just constantly remember back to like what it was like to work in a warehouse, where I
Yeah,
couldn't
and
I
it
couldn't be
goes
out
instantly.
here, looking at beautiful this beautiful view. I wouldn't be able to be out
Yeah.
here, talking to somebody who, I had personally helped, with my business. I wouldn't be able to travel as much as I do, like work from my phone and from my computer. It's truly a blessing. So as soon as you reframe that, as soon as you remember, it's like, oh, this is easy. This is easy,
Yeah. Yeah,
compared to
no,
the
it's
alternative.
absolutely worth it.
Very much.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely worth it. And the flexibility it gives you. In 2 weeks, I'm going to go to work in Spain for a couple of weeks. It's not vacation. I'm still working, but I'm also enjoying life at the same time. And I also want to say to people who are not in the US, like myself, that think like that's not possible anywhere else in the world because my country is too small or because I talk another language. It doesn't matter. If I can do it in a very small country, speaking a completely different language, anyone can do it. Yeah, that's also very important.
Amen. Yeah, I totally agree. You're one of the guys who doesn't speak English in his content, who also just really really crushes. Um yeah, there are a couple other guys that, do a really really great job. So you 100%, you can make it. You can do really really well on that front. Anything else? I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, that about wraps it up.
Thanks for
Thank
jumping
you,
on,
man.
Daniel. I really appreciate it, man. It's really, really good to see you winning. Yeah, it's just so funny to think back to. I remember our first onboarding call that we had when you joined the program. I remember how hungry you
Mm.
were. I saw it in your eyes, and here you are. Like you're really doing it. And remember, there are going to be ups and downs. Like, maybe next month, maybe this month you have a great month. Maybe next month is like not so good, but you're on that trajectory. You've really been putting up consistent numbers, and if you just continue to do what's working and continue making the changes, implementing the new things that we talk about, you're going to be crushing it. You're going to be in a great place. So enjoy your time in Spain, my friend, and I'll see you
Thank you.
inside of the group calls.
Yep. Thank you, Brandon. See you.
Awesome. Thanks, man.